Mantic59 here. A while back I asked users on several shaving forums what their biggest shaving trouble was. Problems with shaving the neck was the biggest response by far, so I've assembled some strategies you can try for a better shave on the neck. There are several things you can try even before you shave. The first thing to do, if you haven't done so already, is to understand how the hair grows on the neck. If you use a multi-blade cartridge, you need to initially shave in the direction that the hair grows out to. If you use a single blade razor, you might be able to cheat a little bit, but it's still important. Anyway, let your beard grow out for a day or so, then gently stroke your hand over your beard in different directions to determine the grain of the beard. Some directions will feel rough, other directions will feel smoother. The direction that is the smoothest is the direction of your beard grain. It may also be helpful to map all those directions on a sketch of the face and keep it with you during the shave. I have several face sketches on sharpologist.com linked to this video. Something else to be mindful of is how you prepare your neck for shaving. A lot of people just splash some water on their face before shaving, but neglect the neck. Don't do that. At least rinse your neck thoroughly with lots of warm water. Even better, gently scrub it with a warm, wet washcloth. Better still, wash the face area with a gentle facial soap. No body bars or deodorant soaps here. They'll strip off too much of the natural skin oils of your neck. I have some recommendations for some good face washes in the article linked to in this video's description. Okay, let's move on to the razor. The neck is a notoriously sensitive area, and every additional blade is a chance for irritation. So consider going AWOL from the razor blade wars by trying a razor with fewer blades in the cartridge. It may take some experimentation to see which razor design works for you, but it will probably be worth the effort. I think you should also consider moving to an old school safety razor with one blade. There is a learning curve, but after you get the hang of it, you can really get some good shaves. Which brings us to shaving lather. If you're using a shaving product that comes out of a pressurized can, you should seriously consider another product. All things being equal, anything out of a pressurized can tends to dry out the skin because of the can's propellant. For the best lathering experience, I think you should use a lathering shave soap or cream applied with a shaving brush. It's a great way to keep water next to the skin, gently remove tiny bits of debris, and surround every little hair with lathery goodness. Once you have prepared your neck, there are some specific techniques you can use to get a close, comfortable shave there. If you lather your neck first and shave it last, you will give the stubble there the longest possible time to hydrate and soften, which should improve your chances of a good shave. Your initial shave strokes need to be with the grain, with no pressure on the blade, and without repeating strokes. Don't worry about getting every bit of hair at first. Just concentrate on light strokes that overlap very slightly. Really resist the urge to shave the same spot over and over again. If the grain is in a circular pattern on a section, you may find that a single predominant direction will work adequately for part of the pattern, but the only way to know for sure is to try it. Modern cartridge razors are engineered to help compensate for too much pressure on the skin, but it can only go so far. And if you're using an old school safety razor, you're going to have to remember to use little or no pressure on the razor itself. No matter what kind of razor you use, holding the razor at the very bottom of the handle will usually help reduce the pressure of the blade on the skin. Most people think they need to stretch the skin to get a smooth shave, but in reality, what you really need to do is flatten the skin. It may sound like the same thing, but it's really easy to overstretch the skin, and that's a prescription for ingrown hairs and razor burn. But there are a couple things you can do to help flatten the skin of the neck, depending on where you're trying to shave. One way to flatten the skin on most of the neck without overstretching is to lean forward at the waist and tilt your head up slightly. You may need to steady yourself with your other hand while you're doing this, but it works really well for me. Another way to flatten the areas just under the jaw on the side of the head is to tilt your head down and flatten your jowl area. You'll look a little like a bullfrog, but some people find it useful to catch those areas. What about the Adam's apple? There are a couple things you can do to shave that area too. One is to swallow and try to hold the swallow. You won't be able to hold it for more than a second or so, of course, but that should be long enough to make a shaving stroke on the area. Another alternative is to carefully slide the skin over the Adam's apple to one side, but you'll have to be careful not to overstretch it. When you're finished shaving with the grain, examine yourself. Is it good enough? If not, try relathering and shaving across the grain. You might try an against the grain pass too, a little later, but if you're watching this video, that baby's butt smooth feel just might not be possible. After you have finished your reduction passes, if there are small areas of stubble left that you need to get after your grain shaving, you can try a couple advanced techniques. First is the J-hook, which, as the name implies, involves a curving or hooking motion with the razor. J-hooking is particularly effective on the sides of the neck just below the jawline. There is also blade buffing, which is a very short, light stroke in a small area. This is good for the area under the chin particularly. Both J-hooking and blade buffing should be done very carefully and lightly with lather and done just once. If you still have stubble or roughness after trying that, just let it go, at least for this shave. A thorough post-shave rinsing is a good idea and essential if you are experiencing those little pimply-looking whitehead things. It might be caused by lather residue clogging pores. Rinse with lots